Hey Eric, this is Ian. I'm going to be very subdued because honestly I'm pretty tired tonight and I don't really want to make this, but I want to help you and I want you to use open broadcast software because I think it's a lot better than that other crap you paid for. Isn't that cool? And all the other YouTubers on YouTube let me down and sucked, and their tutorials sucked too much for me to feel like they'd actually help you. Plus they focus way too much on streaming on Twitch and all that crap that we don't even care about. So anyway, I'm going to try and help you out here and just tell you the stuff you need to know. Hopefully I can do everything I need to do because this is actually recording the tutorial, so hopefully I can mess around with it without messing the recording up. I never mess around with scenes, but that's kind of like, okay, well let me see if there's anything else I need to talk about first. Okay, so you're going to install the program, and it's pretty much going to be like this. There's not going to be any picture here because I'm recording, so now it shows the picture, but when you're not recording it doesn't. It's just a white screen. So, what you're going to do is, you're going to, I'm going to actually open up another scene right here. Hopefully it's still recording, but anyway, I never mess around with scenes. Scenes is if you want to like make a bunch of subgroups and stuff, like say you're doing a let's play of System Shock, so make a scene, like you go add, click in here, so add scene, call it System Shock 2, and then this could be like okay, and then this you could have like Doom 3, and then you get all these would have their own different sources, and that's where sources come in place. I just use scenes. Like I never leave this. I just select different things as I need them for different recordings, because OBS will only record sources that you have checkboxed. Like if I uncheckbox video capture, it'll remove my handsome face. I'll check it again and add it back on. So anyway, so imagine you're just installed this for the first time. You're not going to have any sources or scenes. I don't remember if it starts you. I think it might start you off with just scene. So just if it does, just leave that alone. You're going to add sources. The first source you'll want to add, I don't know if you're going to want to record your desktop, but if you do, then just go to add. It'd be monitor capture. Image, I don't know what that is. I never used it. I guess you can add text too. Never tried that. But for games, you're going to do game capture, and you can name it whatever you want. I just call it game capture because I use it for all my games. But like I said, you could make game capture ones for different games, like if they have different settings. So go to that, and you can do all these different options, like make the gamma better or worse, or stretch it to the screen if you have it like when running in a window, stuff like that. And this is the most important. You want to make sure that you have the actual game selected in this. I've actually done this lots of times where I will record something and it's really great, and then I go to watch it and it's just a black screen with just me talking about nothing. If you don't have the right source selected in here, it's just going to show a black screen in your recording like this, and just like your webcam up here talking about something. Now here's the trick though. The game you're trying to record won't show up in this drop-down list until you've ran it or are running it. So you'll want to start the game up, like start System Shock 2 up, minimize it, like Alt-Tab out of it, and then open this up, and it should be in this drop-down list. And then you select it, and then OK. And it'll stay in there. Even if you quit the game after that, it'll stay in here. It'll remember it. So just make sure you get that. And remember, before you try making any serious recordings, do a test vid to make sure it works. Because yeah, that always gets me. That's got me lots of times where I forgot to select the right source and I just got a black screen. Or sometimes you have the right source and you still get a black screen. And that's because some games need to be ran as a monitor capture, like it has to capture the desktop. That's usually with like really old games. Like I think that's how I had to record Crystal Key. I couldn't run it as a game capture. I had to run it as a Windows capture or a monitor capture. And actually, here, if you take, well, no, it's not in there. Never mind. So anyway, so you got your game, you got it all selected in there. Next thing is your thing up here, your webcam. How you do that is you go add video capture device. Me. And then open the options for that. You have all these options for this crap. You can flip the image, like if you're like sitting at a weird angle and you want to be sitting this way, you can flip the image. You want to make sure the right device is selected. It'll probably, since you only have one webcam, I think it'll do that. So it'll already be there, but check. And you have all the stuff. You can change the resolution if you want to make it bigger, but of course it'll fill up more of your screen if it's bigger. Change the FPS. You want to like, doesn't go to 60, I don't know why. See, most of the stuff I haven't even messed with. But you can actually also change the gamma, which is something you could use, because I remember you were in a dark room, so you might be able to up the gamma and make you show up out of the darkness. But I'd still get a freaking light if I was you. Let's see, I don't know what chroma key is. That might be some like something that surrounds the image, like an overlay or something, I don't know. But anyway, we'll go back to this. Once you have all that set up, you can select preview stream, and that's pretty much what you're seeing here. It'll show, well, you have to, damn it. Well, like I said, it'll only show the sources you have checkmarked. So if you're doing a preview, I would go ahead and select video capture device and desktop capture. Where did I get desktop capture anyway? Oh, I must have just named it that. But it's really a monitor capture. But anyway, you'll select those two, and then when you push stream, it should show this in the Hall of Mirrors effect, because it's recording itself, recording itself, recording itself. So anyway, this is very useful because you can use it to position your webcam in the proper spot. Because I think it starts it off like right here in the middle of the screen, which doesn't really work. So you want to select your video capture device, you'll right click it, and then you can change the order. Order is kind of like if you have like a bunch of things layered, you want to have the video capture device layered on top, because it's on top of the monitor capture. So they're layered like layers in Photoshop. So you have like your window, your game playing here, and then you have your webcam layered on top of it, playing over it. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, so you can move this around by going to this. Let me move it up a little bit. Going to this, position and size, and then here's all the areas. You move it left, move it to the left edge, move it to the top. So you go center, move it to the center, and then like from there you can like go move to the left edge, and then move top. There you go. And then, can you change the size here? Reset size, cropping. Let's see. What does that do? It does nothing. I guess you do fit to screen. There's my big fat face. This almost looks weird. I'm like taking off the whole screen. It's actually interesting because you can see how you can see through me a little bit. That's because if you go into the options for video capture device, move it off to the side. Where is it? There's an option here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Opacity. You can actually change it, make yourself like more and more ghostly. That's like if you want to have your video recording in the corner but you don't want to cover up something on the screen, you can make yourself like barely visible. It's kind of cool. I always keep myself a little bit invisible. I don't know. I don't know why. And you can see change your gamma. This won't take effect until I push OK, I guess. Let's see. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and reset this. I'm gonna have to move myself back over now. There we go. So these two here are your audio levels, which you're gonna have to mess around with before you make any serious recordings. As far as I can tell, this one with the speaker is like your game sounds, and this one is your sound, like your voice, being picked up by your webcam. So you'll pretty much want to have that louder than the game, so people can hear you over explosions and stuff, which I have had problems setting correctly myself. I know especially in that thief video, I don't know what happened with that. So anyway, you go into settings here, and let's see. Encoding. I have an NVIDIA card, so I can use the NVIDIA recording stuff that has built into it, but you'll want to use the X264 and then check these three, and you might have to mess around with this, I'm not sure, can't remember. Broadcast settings. This is where the game is going to get recorded to. Now they recommend you having an external hard drive to record your videos to, and this is so it doesn't bog down your computer, because you know your hard drive, your poor overworked hard drive, is having to pull data off for the game running, then at the same time write to itself for the video being recorded. So if you have a second hard drive, one hard drive can be running the game and the other one can have stuff written to it. It's not just one hard drive, I can do both. You kind of feel bad for it now, don't you? Anyway, video, this is your resolution. You won't really have to mess around with that, just keep it the same. But an example with the Crystal Key, the maximum resolution in that game was like 300 by 600 or something, or 300 by 400 pixels. So I actually had to make the resolution really small for it to actually fit the screen, because otherwise it'd be like a tiny little picture in the corner. So you can change your FPS. With video, like flat video, you don't have to have it running at 60 FPS. 30 would probably even be okay, but I do 50. Audio, this is another thing you'll want to make sure you get sounding right before you do serious recording. You want to make sure you select the right microphone source, because this actually had me quite confused for a while. I couldn't figure out why my microphone wasn't working. Like I had it on a microphone, but that wouldn't work. It had to be a desktop microphone. So yeah, make sure that's working. Hotkeys, this is your recording key. I didn't know this at the time, but you can actually have the same key for start and stop. So if you want to have like F9, F9, so you can just toggle it on and off, that's fine. You can also use push to talk, I think, for the webcam. I don't know if that affects the game sound effects or not, though. So use with your own risk. Bunch of crappy stuff, I don't know what it is. You can probably look up some videos on YouTube about like optimizing your settings for OBS and stuff. Here again is messing with your sound and stuff, blah blah blah. Oh no, this is noise removal. Yeah, I don't even think I'm using it. Yeah, I'm not. And you don't have to mess with that. So anyway, you're gonna have this running in the background. You can minimize it. Hey girls, how you doing? And then you start your game up, and when you start it, you're gonna minimize it. You're gonna go to make sure game capture is checked. Make sure it's checked, or yeah, game capture is checked. Go in. Select the game in the drop-down list, say OK, go back into your game, and then push your hotkey, and you should be recording. This is the one thing that's a little goofy about OBS, is I have it kind of lucky. OBS actually doesn't show that it's recording. Like, it doesn't have like a little red circle appear in the corner or anything kind of blinking. I'm lucky because I know it's recording because the power power light on my webcam will come on, and then I know it's recording. So it'll only be on while I'm recording because it activates a video capture device. So if your webcam has a light on that comes on when it's being used, you can use that to know it's recording. Otherwise, you're just going to have to push your hotkey and hope it started recording. Yeah, sucks. But, yeah. I guess that's all I have to say. So, hopefully this helped, and if it didn't, look at some other videos on YouTube, maybe they'll be helpful. This was trying not to be too confusing, and just try to tell you what you need to know. So anyway, yeah, and the biggest thing I stress is just make test videos for all your settings until you're sure you have it exactly right, like how you want it. Don't make a whole episode of Eric Controls and then watch it and find out it didn't work. So, short little test videos. Okay, well, bye.